So, check this out, people. Today, I'm going to do something I haven't done in a long time, right? It's been a long time since I talked about Marantz Rants. I've mentioned him just lightly in my recent videos, right? But I haven't really talked about him, right? Now, we all know that he's going through some things because he puts his business out there like a beta male, right? He uses YouTube as therapy to disclose his personal business and his personal life, right? And we all know what a dick he is and what an asshole he is, right? And I've always said that what goes around comes around, right? When you attack people, when you disrespect people, it's no wonder that those same people are going to come at you, right? It's just the way it is. That's life, right? And those same people are going to hope for nothing but the worst, because that's how I feel about Marantz, straight up. I'm not going to bullshit you, right? Those who watch me know the relationship that Marantz and I have, right? I used to follow him, and then I started to unfollow him because he's a dick. And the more I watched him, the more I started to dislike him, right? And so here he is today talking about his computer is down and how he cannot make videos and how he cannot have the proper lighting, right? Because his computer is down, right? So because his computer is down, his lighting doesn't work, right? Because his computer is down, his overhead lights at home don't work because, hey, when I record, I turn on my overhead lights if I don't have the proper lighting. It's not hard to turn on the light switch unless you're broke and you can't afford to pay your light bill because your wife left you and you depend on your wife to pay half the bills, to carry half the weight, like a beta male, right? Because when I was 19, I was married. My wife never worked a day in her life. I had 3 daughters who I supported. I paid the rent, the electricity, the cable, the car, everything. And my wife never worked a day in her life. You know why? Because a real man's job is to carry the weight of the family, whether the wife works or not. And since I had a job and I'm an alpha male, right? A real man, that's what a man does. See, the fact that we have to use the word alpha male just goes to show the generation that we're living in today, the times that we're living in today, because there was a time when every male was an alpha male and he knew how to handle his business. He didn't rely on his wife to carry half the weight. And so, because Marantz Rants depends on his wife to carry half the weight, now, according to him, his computer is down. This is why he doesn't have any lights on. It's not because his electricity is off. It's not because he hasn't paid his electric bill, right? It's his computer that's down. Because when my computer's down and I use my cell phone, I have lighting. I have lighting now. He has lighting. I mean, he goes on live every day. Doesn't he use lighting? Why isn't he using lighting today? Why is he using all these excuses about his computer being down, how he's got poor lighting? Hell, turn on your lights, Marantz. I remember one day I was at an Airbnb and I had a wall unit. The AC unit was in the wall. It's not my house. Hell, where I live today, I have a wall unit. I don't have central cooling. You see, I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm not in debt. My wife could leave me and it doesn't matter. I'm still going to be able to pay the electricity, Marantz. I'm still going to be able to carry the weight. I'm still going to be able to pay the rent. Hell, right now I'm paying my rent and my girlfriend's mortgage. And I don't work. I don't grind like you grind, right? Because you got a career. You remember that? You don't talk like that anymore because people know what your career is now, right? I got a career. I'm not like you people. I grind every day. I grind every day. You grind it now, Marantz? Now that your wife is gone? Now that you can't pay your bills because you need the alpha, your wife, to carry half the weight? You see how life is? You see why people don't like you? You see why, even though you have 12,000 subscribers, you only get about 2,000 views per video? Because most of the people who watch you are bots. They're not real people. Hell, the majority of YouTubers, the majority of Reddit and TikTokers can't stand you. And now you want people's prayers. Now you're asking for our prayers. Well, not mine, but those who follow you. You want their prayers. Those bots who ain't real, right? You want their prayers. Why weren't you there for your wife while you were grinding? Why weren't you there for your kids? Oh, I know, because you were sucking Ryan Cohen's balls. You were sucking another man's balls, right? You go to work every night, right? To your career, right? Then you come home and you go on live 2, 3 hours on YouTube. And then after that, you go to sleep. And then you wake up and then you go do some promos live on the streets now, because that's what you're doing now. And then you post a video about Ryan Cohen, your lover, and GameStop every 10 minutes, right? You see the difference between a real man and a beta male? A real man knows this, that if he's got a wife at home, she's number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And while you were out there sucking Ryan Cohen's balls, well, you don't take care of home, someone else is going to do it. There's a saying in Puerto Rico, right? If you don't mind the store, someone else will. It sounds different in Spanish, but I'm just translating it, right? And if you don't take care of your family, another man will, Marantz. They're going to take care of your family. You see, because there's nothing more important than family, especially your family, right? Because your children should matter more than GME. Your wife should matter more than Ryan Cohen. We all know she doesn't. We all know she never did. We all know that Ryan Cohen was your man, your sugar daddy, that no one could take his place, not even your wife, that no one could take the place of GME, not even your children, not even your family. And now that your computer is down, this is why you have no lights, right? Hell, because right now I'm just using the light from my small studio, right? My studio light. But if I want to turn on my lights in this room, I'll just get up and hit the switch and my lights will come on. I challenge you to do this for everyone who's watching you, Marantz. Everyone who you're telling that your computer is down and this is why your background is so dark. And this is why you're using a small lamp to light yourself while you record on your lives, right? I challenge you to do this for your viewers. Turn on your lights. Turn on the lights in your room so we can all see. Because according to you, it's poor lighting, your computer's down. So help us out and turn on your lights. And so you made fun about the wall unit that I had in my Airbnb, right? The AC unit. The same unit I have here. I have a wall unit. You know why I have a wall unit, Marantz? Because while you're paying for your central cooling, you're paying for the installation, you're paying on your mortgage, you're paying on your car. I'm debt free. I have no debt. Hell, because I bet you $20 that my bedroom is bigger than your living room. And my AC unit, that's a wall unit, cools my whole room and the bathroom and my office or small studio that's attached to that bedroom. You see the difference between a real man and a beta male who thinks that he can impress his wife by going into debt, debt that he cannot afford to pay, debt that he needs her to carry half the weight because since he's such a man, he's got to say, babe, let's go half on the rent. Let's go half on the mortgage. You see, my girlfriend doesn't pay rent. She doesn't pay rent. I do. She doesn't pay her mortgage. You know who pays her mortgage? I do. And I don't have a career like you do. But because I do feel sorry for you, this is why I'm talking to you like this, so that hopefully you can learn your lesson. But people like you don't learn your lesson. People like you don't learn your lesson. You're only kind when you're going through shit. You only ask for prayers when you're going through shit. And then when things get better for you, then you start doing that stupid dance, talking about all these YouTubers, all these people on Reddit, mocking everybody, making fun of everybody, right? So it's only a matter of time before you get back on your feet and you're able to pay your electric bill, right? Hopefully you find another woman who can carry half the weight, okay? And so I'm making this video to tell you that I'm glad everything that's happening to you is happening to you. You know why? Because there's this saying, he that thinketh firm, let him look and not fall. And because you think you're better than everybody, you make fun of everybody. You got a bigger house that you can't afford to pay without your wife. You got a career sweeping floors at Costco's. And yes, I say Costco's. That's just the way I say it. So you can correct me if you like. And you're always grinding, right? Funny how a man who grinds so much can't afford to pay his electric bill because his wife isn't there to pay it for him or pay half. But your computer is down, right? You know, I've never met such a liar in my life. Everyone, you know, what's sad is this. And I try to explain it to those who watch us YouTubers. I try to be real and tell people, listen, when people tell you on YouTube that they're doing better than you, that's all bullshit. They live on the same planet you do. They breathe the same fucked up air you breathe. They drink the same fucked up water you drink. They have roaches, they have ants, they have mosquitoes, they have flies. If they want to make you believe that they're living better than you and you believe it, then there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you if you believe that someone on YouTube who you've never met, who you've never seen, is telling you he's living better than you. It's all bullshit. And you're always telling people how much better than everybody you live. How much better than everybody you are. How much more you grind. How much more beautiful your wife is. I'm sure the next man thinks she's beautiful. Right? And so I wanted to make this video to tell you that you don't deserve anybody's prayers. You don't. You see, this is what you don't understand, Marantz. You think that God is a good God because he does good things for you. You don't believe that God, as a good father, isn't going to do things for you or to you to make you see the errors of your ways. If anybody prays for you, trust me on this, Marantz, your life is going to get worse. It's going to get worse. You know why it's going to get worse? Because when you ask God to make you better, you're going to go through shit. And you're going to go through shit, you know why? Because you're a shitty person. And the only way you learn that is when you find yourself in the same position that you believe others are in and that you are better than. And so now you are like everybody else. I mean, I know you've always been. Your followers may not have known that. But someone like me, who's a real man, an alpha male who pays his wife's rent, her mortgage, takes care of her kids, And she doesn't have to do a thing. And she works, by the way. She's got 4 years college and she's an accountant. But a real man don't give a fuck about what she does and what she doesn't do. A real man's job is to be a man. That's what a real man's job is. You see, you're part of this new generation who, in order to have a wife, you have to allow her. You want her to feel special by saying, hey, sweetheart, you have to pay half the rent. Because I don't want to impose on your women's rights. So you have to pay half the rent. You have to pay half the electric bill because right now I can't go on live. I have to tell my followers that my computer is down. I have to tell my followers that my lighting is down because my computer is down. That the microphone is down because my computer is down. And so, Marantz, you want people to pray? I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray for you. And don't be surprised when your life continues to go downhill, because that's the only way you're going to learn that you don't put a man before your wife. Hell, I could understand if you put another woman before your wife. I could understand that. But what I could never understand is how you could have put a man before your wife. How you could put a stock before your family. See, I watch you and I see how obsessed you are with GameStop. And I look at you and I think to myself, wow, this guy is really obsessed. Like mentally obsessed. So that it can really affect him, not just in his family, but in his finances, in his personal life. When your wife is about to leave you and you have time to make videos, hell, you had time to make videos when she was there. You had time for that. What are you going to do? What are you going to do now that you can't pay half the rent, half the mortgage? What are you going to do now that you can't pay your electric bill? You're going to ask your followers, oh, I know, you're going to continue to pump GameStop. You're going to continue to have your bot followers send you money through Patreon because you don't make enough money in your career to pay your mortgage, to pay your electricity. What happened, Marantz? What happened? Aren't you a grinder? Aren't you always grinding and you do it better than most people in the world? Not in the country, but in the world. You do it better than Mexicans, Dominicans, Cubans. You do it all, except protect your family, except stand for your family, except be there for your children and your wife, right? Because you're there for Ryan Cohen, and Ryan Cohen takes precedence. So I wanted to make this video to let you know, Marantz, that I'm glad your life is fucked up. I am. I really am. Because maybe it'll make you a better person. Maybe it'll humble you just a little bit. But I don't see that from you. You know what I see? You're like one of those drunks. There are two types of drunks, right? They are the mean drunks and they are the happy drunks. The problem with you is that you need to get drunk because it'll probably make you a better person. Because you're a mean person and you don't need to be drunk to be mean. You don't need to be drunk to be a dick or an asshole. And this is why your life is falling. This is why your life is failed. Because he that thinketh firm, let him look and not fall. You're better than me. You're better than your followers. You're better than most people in the world. And now you're not. You see how things change? You know, it's funny that I read in a book, right, that joy is not always a good thing. I read in a book that being sad is better than being joyful. You know why? Because that's ironic, isn't it? That being joyful is not always a positive thing. You know why that is? Because people who are happy They forget about those who are sad. They revel in their own joy, in their own wealth, in their own goodness, in their own happiness, that they're unable to see other people's distress, right? You're always mocking people. You're always celebrating yourself. You're always celebrating your family, your career. The fact is that you've been lying to your followers about your relationship with your wife, with your children, with your job. And then you expect people to believe everything else you say. You see, Morant, you're a bitch. You know why you're a bitch? Because you need YouTube to be your therapy. You need YouTube so that you can have someone to talk to, because people around you don't want to hear your bullshit. They don't want to hear your bullshit because nobody likes you. They don't like you at work. Hell, they don't even like you at home. They don't like you at home. This is why you spend your time grinding, because since you can't be at home, you got to do something else. You got to grind. But you should grind a little harder, and then maybe you can pay your electric bill and turn on the lights so that when you go on live using your cell phone, we could at least see your flag in the background, your GME posters, and not use the excuse that your computer is down, because hell, I'm not using my computer right now to record myself, and you can see me clearly. You can see me clearly. Hell, I can bet you 20 that you can hear the AC running in the background from my wall unit, because I'm not an idiot. You see why I was able to retire 10 years younger than what you are? Because I'm a lot older than you, Morant. You know why I was able to do the things that you're trying to do now? Because I didn't put people down. I didn't insult people. I didn't mock people. I didn't make fun of people. I can pick up the phone when I need something, and I have friends back home in the US that will gladly send me money if I needed it. I'm okay with a war unit. I'm okay with driving a Ford Focus. I'm not trying to impress nobody. I'm okay with living in a home that's simple because I just sleep in my house. I don't live there. I live outside. You see, the winds are the walls to my home, and the heavens are the ceiling to my house. I just sleep in my abode. That's it. And if you watch my videos while you're grinding, right, in front of your camera, pumping GME and sucking Ryan Cohen's balls, if you watch my videos and compare them to the lifestyle you live at home by yourself with no electricity, you will see the difference. So no one gives a fuck about you, Morant. You're not 12. Hell, Mikey's Money, who's 19 years old, when he makes his videos, he's able to turn on his light switch. And hell, granted that his mother pays the electricity. Maybe, like Mikey's Money, you should move in with your mother. And then you'll be able to make videos, you'll be able to go live, and we'll be able to see your flag in the background and your GME posters. So, Morant, you happy? You still grinding? You still do things better than most people in the world? You still love your career? A career that can't carry your wife or your children? I hear you talk shit about other YouTubers and other people, calling them betas. Betas. Hell, those betas can carry their family. Those betas can pay their mortgage. Those betas don't need their wives to carry half the weight. You see how funny and ironic life is? So, yeah, I'm going to pray for you. Because the harder I pray, the more fucked up your life is going to be. And I'm not going to pray that your life gets worse, but that it gets better. You see, the only way your life is going to get better is when you continue to be humbled. You continue to lose everything you love, everything you care about, because you decided and chose to follow a man rather than to follow your wife. You chose your career sweeping floors at Costco's over your children. You chose GME over your friends and family. You chose YouTube rather than choosing those around you. You see, you're obsessed and it's affecting you mentally. And the fact is that when I watch you, Morant, I really feel sorry for you. And I'm being genuine when I tell you that I feel sorry for you. Pity. You know, like when a dog is injured in the street and you look at him, he's emaciated. You want to go back and feed it. You want to go back and pick it up and bring it home. I feel sorry for you like that. And you deserve it. And so, yeah, I hope everyone else that's watching you, who you've asked for their prayers, I do hope they pray for you so that God can keep bringing you down where you belong.